is up, everybody? Frankie James here. We have I'm so pumped up for this show. Um, Welcome to the season finale of the My Crazy Exes podcast. It's been a hell of a ride. Shout out for that new little intro video. That was pretty cool. Dug that. We're not gonna have any issues either with the copyright thing. Unity Podcast Network. It's been running strong for a little bit now. Definitely couldn't do it without the team and the help. Be sure to check out Unity Podcast Network on all social media platforms. Also, give the YouTube channel, all that good stuff. But this show is going to be kind of what everybody was kind of waiting for. We got to cover a lot of different things this season. Me and my co-hosts, who I miss right dearly. Everybody's like, what are you going to talk about the Exes, man? Like what's going on? Well, today's the day. We are going to go into it. We have a special guest. We are going to go into the My Crazy Exes, and everybody's got one. I mean, it could be you, it could be me, who knows? But before we do that, we have a special return, and I couldn't be more happier. I'm just stacked right now. It's been a while. Recovered. Nobody's ever recovered, but dealt with a lot, stepped away. Nobody knew. I didn't know that this was going to be happening right now, but we're going to do it for the season finale of season 1. We are going to bring back the one, the only, my dear good friend, my love, my co-host of the My Crazy Exes podcast. I want to welcome back. I'll be getting emotional. Welcome back, Sunshine, my dear. There she.
Well, hello there.
Baby, you're back. I'm so emotional right now. Sunshine.
Don't do that.
The love of my life, the one, the only. Oh, man. I'm having the fanciest trick of all. Welcome back. We're going to say welcome back. I'm so happy that you're here. We got to talk a little bit beforehand. You decided that you wanted to jump on, and why couldn't you? I mean, you're here. I want to just welcome everybody. Welcome to the season 1 finale. And of course, thank you to all the supporters for the show. We're going to do a little conversation real quick because it is the season finale, and Sunshine and I had some damn good memories.
Good times.
The origins of the My Crazy Ex podcast, it's kind of funny because her and I were just having a conversation. I said, we got to do this. What's going to be our name? And Boo Boo came up with the name for us. With props to Boo Boo, to our honey Boo Boo. He came up with the name for us. It's stuck. It's sexy. It's beautiful. And, it became the My Crazy Exes podcast. And, people don't remember because it didn't last that long. But Unity Podcast Network was not always Unity Podcast Network. We had originally come up with can I pronounce it still? The Oral Fixation.
Fixation. Yep.
Oral Fixation Podcast Network. And we started getting some messages and because we were essentially branching out to other shows and bringing some more people on. It's like, dude, that kind of sounds like, I was like, you know what, dude, maybe we should change something. So we decided to do Unity, and it's stuck. Sunshine was realistically like the co-founder of the network with me. I had the Frank the Tank show already running strong, and then it was just Frank the Tank and My Crazy Exes podcast, and part of the Unity Podcast Network. And we went from that on April 28th was our first show till now. We had 10 shows running. We had sponsors. We have a website. We took it off, and things have changed obviously over time, and we're obviously revamping as always, but. Let's get back. We'll feature some of our favorite moments, and we'll talk about a couple of them before we bring on our special guest. The 21 questions in episode 1. We decided that we were going to not just do the usual conversation of oh yeah, let's get to know each other. We wanted to do something differently, so we both put 10 questions in, and we couldn't see them, and we had no idea what was going to pop up, and we essentially were asked the questions. Do you remember my favorite moment of that episode?
I know your favorite moment. I know
your highest time. when were you the most highest in your life? And that essentially meant like when were you the most, successful, the most proud, and like when did you feel the most high? And Sunshine's response, do you remember what it was?
Oh yeah, it was the night I tried shrooms for the first time.
I was like, no, 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 no. I didn't mean when you got high.
It was the highest moment for my life.
I'm sure that may have changed since then. But that was definitely a good moment. Another one of my favorite moments, and I'll let you maybe mention one of yours, was the Reddit, and that was your show. That was your baby. That was one of the first topics and stuff that you came up with. Do you remember when we were going over some of it? Why don't you talk a little bit about when we went your idea with the Reddit and talk a little bit about what we did?
Oh yes, the Reddit from Reddit times.
Uh,
I mean, the shit writes itself. Like, I mean, some of the questions that people had on there, I was like, okay, yeah, we can definitely give you some advice, help you out, let you know you should probably leave that one. Um,
the guy was talking to the girl, and like for 3-4 weeks, you know where I'm getting at, and they were getting ready to meet on Friday, and like 2 days beforehand, he sent her a dick pic.
yeah,
Still don't know what with that one.
those unsolicited dick pics.
we're, we're we're definitely gonna bring that in season 2.
Oh yeah, I'm ready for that one.
I
Season
wasn't sure
two.
if I could handle that one on my own. Realistically, we would have attracted a crowd that I don't know if I was ready for. To be honest, I was definitely gonna need some backup on that.
They would have been like, "Oh my god, Frank, I'm gonna send you all of my dick pics."
Yeah, my battery would have died probably. So why don't you, obviously, happy as hell that you're here. If you want to say anything, obviously, and mention one or two of your favorite memories through our season. There's so many good ones.
Let's see here. For me, honestly, eh, it was the icky time. It was the time where I got to just like be real
Yeah,
and not be okay. And it was okay for me not to be okay.
mental health
Um,
is real. The mental health is real show.
yeah, for real. Definitely.
Just watched it last night. I just showed some of my family the other night. I was in Mullica Hill, New Jersey, with some family, and I showed them that episode, and going back to watching that, and just us, man, it was so vulnerable. Like it was the best. It was some of the best work I've ever done. It was just laid it all out there. We came on, and we had something different that we were going to do, and we were talking and said, you know what, fuck it, we're going to change everything. We're going to talk about some real shit. And that's another part of what we wanted the show to be about. We changed it all, and then we had the mental health is real show, and it was about an hour and 10 minutes of raw emotion from both of us. We both cried, and I still remember something that you said to me, and I just watched it, but it will always stick. It will always be true. Is that anytime 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m. conversations that we had, there's one thing I still will never say, and that's that I'm sorry that you feel this way.
Mm.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I remember watching that, and yeah, it was a deep show. It was an incredible show. Definitely, probably one of my favorite shows I've ever done. We got some comments here. People are starting to check in. We got a Facebook user here. My girl Sunshine. That's probably Canooble. Thanks for checking in. Because remember the Facebook user? That's probably still the one memory of just popping in as the Facebook user. My girl,
I hope I fixed that for me at
you
least. I
did.
don't know if
Yeah, you did.
oh
My
fine.
girl, that was a powerful episode. Yeah, it sure was. It was probably one of my favorite episodes I've ever done. I got to do a couple of them. We hit the end of the season, and it's going to be a nice little transition period into the new one. We're definitely happy about it. We're definitely happy just to be able to do this stuff, and you know, we came up with this idea, and what we started turned out turned out to be like, I mean, I always have high expectations for things, and as you should as well with with our confidence. But this show just became so much fun. Like
Mhm.
such great fan interaction. We have incredible fans of this show, incredible viewers. Just everybody was always so like engaging in every single topic that we had. It didn't matter what it was. I mean, we had some like remember the relationship and the relationship
Yes.
when we would pop the pictures up and just talk about different. It was so incredible, and we've reached the and end of season one, and we're gonna start kind of dive into it now and do it up. And that's essentially what the name's all about. Crazy exes. We haven't
Mhm.
covered it. We covered relationships, but now it's time to focus in. We're going to talk about the crazy exes. And I've been working on a surprise all day, and there's a huge possibility it's still going to happen. I'm going to break it now. We're going to probably need some mediation because I've welcomed a couple of the exes to join the show tonight.
Oh my.
I didn't
Oh
tell you
my.
that, did I? I didn't tell you that, did I? I didn't.
None of mine, right?
No, no, I don't know any of yours.
Oh, cool.
Well, I'll just pick up. I'm gonna join the Jacksonville Facebook group. Yeah, you guys know this. This is Sunshine Run. Yeah, I know you guys. Fucked her.
Right? Just ask all of Duval. Hey,
Oh, remember
you hit that?
the
Did you hit
story?
that?
The story of when your friend stood
The-
there and watched you with the guy.
hey, it was the year of sunshine, man.
The sun was shining.
It was. A lot of men were blessed
Yes, spill the
that
tea.
year.
Here we go. I'm ready to hear you guys spill the tea. Got my popcorn. Well, we have a special guest first, so we wanted to get our guest on. Found him today. We found each other actually. Had a little conversation earlier. Great guy. Um, I've been talking to a lot of people within what he does. He's all the way out in Texas. Love that, by the way, because I got good friends over in Texas, and ironically, they have the same last name. Our guest,
Tejas.
there you go, Victor Mendoza. He's going to be coming in. He's a comedian out in Texas, also a mental health advocate. Also has some great stories on some crazy exes, and looking forward to it. And also some of the things that maybe have taken a toll on his mental health. We are going to throw this out there because it's always important to us. It is National Suicide Awareness Month. Um, Obviously, our big charity here, Unity, is National Alliance Against Mental Illness, NAMI, in Bucks County, Pennsylvania. We got some big things that we're going to be doing to them. If you're ever feeling low, feeling down, and you need to call, please talk to somebody, call somebody. Sunshine and myself, obviously, we just talked about an episode. We have always kind of been there. We've always kind of answered the phone and called. There is always someone. And if there isn't someone, message to my Crazy Exes podcast Facebook page, and one of us will get to you, and we're more than happy to. Let's
Dead
get
ass.
let's
Yep.
get the man in here, the one, the only, the yeehaw son of a bitch cowboy comedian, all the way from Texas. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Victor Mendoza. Victor Mendoza, ladies and gentlemen, here he
Let's
is.
go.
Victor!
Roar! Victor, my friend. How
Don't
are
mind
you?
me. I'm just
Hello.
eating grapes.
Oh, I'm
Like
surprised
a
it wasn't call
Roman.
French. Sorry,
Uh-oh.
Victor, go ahead.
Hold on.
Right away,
He's
I
all
lost connection. Oh, there we go.
Wait.
Things are going fantastic already.
Oh, well, you already know that. You know what I mean?
There we go.
But
There we go.
she'll jump back in. She's just getting herself. She all situated. Good, love that. So, Victor,
Good.
welcome to the show. You're here for the big episode. It's the season finale of season one.
I'm honored, by the way.
I'm honored to have you. We got to talking a little bit about you, but we're gonna kind of let you take the little floor. You're out in Texas. You're a comedian out in Texas.
That's correct.
Let's dive into it a little bit, man. Talk a little bit about your comedy, how you got into it, and then we will transition into the fun stuff.
Absolutely. I actually started out podcasting. Ironic, you guys had mentioned the name of y'all's podcast, how y'all had to change it. Our podcast, if you want to listen to it, it is at risk. It's called The Morning After Pill Show.
I love it already. I'm
Yes.
already.
Yeah.
That's a sexy. That's something that's going to drive. Oh yeah. Well, that's a collab right there, Sunshine.
For that.
It was made. It was not necessarily to be an offensive podcast, but we will offend people. That was basically kind of what it was going for. Excuse me.
There's
And-
no way to not offend people in this day and age.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Very true.
it ended up just being fun. Me and my co-host at the time, he's still my best friend. We just had such great chemistry when we did it, and people would be so happy to hear the show. A new episode came out, and they'd be like, "Oh, I was having anxiety at work, and the show helped out a lot." So regardless of some of the content that we were saying and some of the things that we'd said, like we said F China like back in 2019. We were the first ones, dang it.
I thought
But
I read that somewhere in the paper that this guy from Texas, this comedian, mental health advocate, said F China.
yeah. Yeah, that was all over Twitter. Um we would get reached out by people from because we hit global because people in the military just loved the vulgar stuff, right? So it started to get out into a reach in all these different third world countries, and we would get messaged by people asking us about contraceptives. And I'm like, we actually don't know anything about
we're just a couple of guys that talking on a fucking
yeah.
Like,
So,
I have
like-
15 kids. I know nothing about contraceptives.
That's
no.
crazy. That like what this can like. I'll tell you a little story, like a brief story, and then let you continue. A friend of mine recently actually had a guest on her show, and there was a little bit of background history with this gentleman, and it turned into there was this group out there, and I'm not going to give them the name of the group. There was this group out there that were essentially a massive amount of trolls. Like I'm talking about shit that's like whoa, and they like kind of like got on the podcast and like commenting in and stuff like that. Well, since like my friend had like, you know, will have this person on their show, they like started to come after her, and I like hijacked like the Discord to listen to what they were. Dude, there was like hundreds of them. Like I was like, holy shit! Like this is like serious shit here, man. What they was, I was like, dude, this is like a couple of kids like just talking. Like it's a fucking like whole army. Thank God it went away, but it was some scary shit, man. Like when people like just you never know sometimes. Go continue.
What, were they like fucking incels or something? Like,
No, it's all over now, thank God.
yes, they were.
Like,
okay.
I don't even know what he saw, but I can guarantee incels is definitely like at least a majority of the people there.
Okay, but here, real quick, I'm gonna do a PSA for all you incels out there. Okay, listen, you do not have to go through life without pussy. Okay, I am willing to take one for the team if that's gonna stop a mass shooting. I'll fuck you. Okay, that like I will do that for you because like I love people. Okay,
you were always a people person.
I'm a people person. Now my boyfriends might whip my ass on that one, but you know what I'm saying.
Like watch maybe a little watchki. I always said about this.
All
Like,
I'm saying is I'm trying to be like She-Hulk. I'm trying to save the fucking world.
we might have to get you on the Home to Go podcast if you remember that bad boy.
Right?
Yeah, you know,
speaking
save
of-
the world one dick at a time.
Exactly.
Facebook users, obviously, it's Christy from the Ho and Go podcast. Definitely check that out. Please send the military men who are fans in the morning after pill my way, please, and thanks. She's always a fan.
I'll let them know.
The men in uniform. It's yeah,
Absolutely.
It's done it for a long time. So you're doing the comedy thing. You started out with the podcast. I've got some great comedians up here. One that obviously that just checked in. Tell us how'd you get to that, man? And how's it going for you?
Well, we haven't done that podcast in about a year and a half now at this point. We stopped. My comedy started to take off for a little while, and he got another job and a new baby, and just life
got some pussy,
yeah.
and found like a girlfriend, and like yeah, man, I was a loser when I hung out with you.
He doesn't like that I say this, but I keep calling the baby a pandemic baby because he was conceived during that time, and he's like, no, it was right after. Like he's just, we're like cutting it off by a couple days, dude.
It was 6 minutes after.
Yeah, like.
We're still in a pandemic. What do you mean after?
I mean, how long?
We've been in a pandemic for 10 years now.
When does the pandemic end? Like when does it essentially end? Like, I mean, when nobody ever wears a mask ever again. So I'll ask you this question since you made the comment. Like, when do you like what? And this is like a general question, like not an attack. Like, when does it essentially end? Like what needs to be done when no one ever gets sick? Like, what do you think?
I'll go on this one real quick. Let me just say the pandemic ends when the news says it ends, basically, where they stop talking about it. When someone else goes and screws up, that's when the pandemic ends. Mm-hmm. We're just waiting for somebody to just do something really bad on TMZ, and we're good.
I'll take it, and we'll cut it there. And all in favor of that? Aye. There we go.
Cheers.
Salud. Salud. Yeah, it's been a wild ride, and that's kind of like how the podcast thing. I mean, we COVID and all that stuff, like obviously I was back to work and stuff like that. Thankfully, I was home 10 months, but like it's kind of how we got into this. Like sometimes I hit it off in a room on Clubhouse app, and like we got to talk, and I'm like, dude, we should do a podcast, and boom, that was it.
And that's it.
But I don't know, the podcast. It's been a little bit since you did it. And you start to do the comedy thing, and I got to watch a little bit of stuff, and I'm not wearing shorts right now because I was laughing so hard. I pooped. I actually pooped my pants.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, I pooped. Okay. That's not common. I mean, you get distracted. Things happen.
No, yeah. Usually people just throw me a middle finger or, you know what I mean? Like, just kind of give me like a frown for what I said on stage.
I pooped my pants.
That's better. You know what I mean? A reaction's a reaction at this point, especially in this day of age.
I mean, bad publicity is still good publicity, evidently. So
I have to agree, and the shit that I've been dealing with like the last 5 months with people just all over every social media outlet. I think somebody actually said I had no dick, and I was like, that's definitely not true. I'm going to argue with that one.
Yeah,
like fight me, fucker. Oh,
yeah, they're gonna want proof.
A loser, degenerate that does this, but you said I had no dick. Like, what the fuck, man? It's like I could get out there in the media. I probably have.
They're gonna want proof. They're gonna have you kill somebody else's battery, just so you know.
So talk a little about your comedy, brother.
It's kind of been I'm still new at it at this point. I'm still 4 or 5 years in. You know what I mean? So to give it a type, who am I to say? It's kind of what I'm gonna go with. But what I have been told is it can be cerebral. It is observational, but I also do a lot of like I'm telling my story up there because the way I feel when I'm doing comedy, nobody really cares what I'm saying unless you get to know a little bit something about me.
I love that. And especially everybody's telling a story. Like there's some good comedians that I know. And like you put it earlier, comedy is what? When a comedian is what? They're a therapist, just doing their thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I love that because a good storyteller and delivery is important. You throw a little humor in there, it works. Like, for example, a great comedian out here in Philadelphia, I'll always give her a plug because I think she's incredible in her story, is Jessa Reed.
Shout out.
Jessa Reed, comedian out here in Philly. She's a former meth addict. She teen mom, and she got clean, and she tells that story. And about the time that she drank piss because it had meth in it, and it's the way she delivers is so funny. I'm gonna plug the shit out of her because she's just incredible and her story's incredible. You have to check her out, Jessa Reed. Meth piss. Just type it in and watch it.
Type in meth piss and just go to images and see what happens. Or?
No, watch her stand. It's one of her stand-up episodes, and let me tell you something. I couldn't stop laughing. And coming from somebody that's actually experimented in that at one point, I definitely did not drink my own piss.
I was gonna say, I'm like, I thought when you were saying you were experimenting, you were experimenting with drinking your own piss, and I was like, no judgment,
We never know.
Some people just try meth first,
Yeah, I was gonna say, what would be weird for experimenting and doing meth, or just experimenting and drinking my own piss? I'm actually kind of like thinking which one would be.
You gotta work your way up. Don't just jump into the piss.
Well, the bad thing is the reason why she was drinking it was because it had meth in it. So now she's killing 2 people with 1 stone here.
Kidney stone. Which is kind of funny because we're going to talk about mental health anyways. I take meds and it is literally meth. Baby form.
Listen, I'm prescribed medicine. We've been pretty open with this. I'm diagnosed with, and we'll get into like the big part of the mental health talk. Like, I'm diagnosed with by manic depression, anxiety, and ADHD. I mean, like when I was fully in my career and I was diagnosed, I mean, Adderall saved the career. Also, I had some good times, but it definitely did help. And obviously all the anxiety shit that I take, but get it to continue, brother.
Well, all I was gonna say is our piss is now valuable. I mean, I'm just saying. Just gonna move forward from that. Didn't matter.
Proud here, man.
I mean, there's people watching for F's sake, right? I don't even remember where I was at. My ADHD, it is live, and the thing is that I didn't get diagnosed until like early last year. I'm
I was
35, by the way.
I'm
Mm.
33. It was been about 3 years for me. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I
like,
was diagnosed 37.
look at that. Look at that. It's that's a slap in the face. I mean, it was the last time I cried, at least as
Yeah.
far as like therapy goes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
100%. And we talked about that on the mental health is real episode about because like I mean we're all essentially similar to around the same age. Like when we were growing up, we were the he's just he or she is just hyper. They'll be all right. But no, it was like we were suffering through something, and it just I mean obviously if it's not being treated until you're an adult, there ADD doesn't exist. It's a full on ADHD, and now it's
Mhm.
as an adult in the adult world, it was rough. I mean shit. There's been times Sunshine and myself both like where she had noticed that I maybe miss my medicine and vice versa. And it's like it has that much of an effect if you're not not with it. And sometimes you remember, like I mean, it was like, wow, did you like notice? It's like yeah, because it's so real. Like when you don't like continuously take the medicine that you're supposed to take, and there's been times plenty where I didn't take it, whether it be
Yeah.
because I ran out early or because I just didn't feel like taking it. And you would think, oh, it's just right next to your bureau. It's so repetitive. Sometimes you just don't do it. And
Yeah.
it does mess with the mind a little bit. But yeah, we'll dive in like the mental health stuff. Definitely want to like
Absolutely. And
talk
the
about
way
your
I kind of
family.
plan to tell the stories about my exes, because it's two, by the way. Then it was back to back. The thing that was all turned out like to be symptoms of ADHD on how it affected me the most. And being undiagnosed at the time, I'm like, oh, that's why I let it happen to me for so long.
Mhm.
So, when I get into these stories, I'll probably like kind of stop and go, that's this symptom. It's kind of how I ended up learning about these things because I knew how much it affected me at the time. Like, I don't know if you saw the video I did because I try to do videos for ADHD, just like
It's
the
cool.
threshold effect one, like that's you just walk through a door and you forget something. You have executive dysfunction, which is probably one of the worst things to happen to any of us when it comes to that.
What
That's
exactly is that? If you mind me asking, I'm actually don't know. I never heard of it.
Oh,
executive
that shit
dysfunction.
sucks like a
Yeah,
motherfucker.
executive dysfunction is the name of the paralysis that you get when it comes to just doing anything simple, just doing
Wow,
anything at all.
Mhm.
Like when it seems like you're lazy and depressed, really what it is the depletion of dopamine. So it
wow,
feels like depression. That's why you're like, I don't get it. I'm not actually sad, but I just can't move. Nothing is interesting to me. Your brain is bored. Your brain
wow.
doesn't want to do anything. And it doesn't, that's when we make the worst mistakes of our lives. And that's when we want to reach to something or someone to feel better.
That's
And we end
really
up
wild.
letting the wrong things happen to us.
That's really wild, man. I appreciate you
Yeah.
sharing that because sometimes when we did that episode, you had mentioned like about like you would do your own stuff and then you would just be bored and like maybe that had something to do with it. We learned a lot here already on the episode. And like, got a feeling your stories are going to be pretty awesome. Obviously, yes, we are here to talk about the crazy exes and who we
Let's get
and
into them.
we'll all be going around for sure. I might even should I take it first? Nah, we'll let our guest take it first. We've all had one. We may
Yeah.
have even been one. I know I have been one. I know I have had them. Shit, man. I feel like I still deal with a lot of them.
I'm trying to go through my list and see if I can find one of my exes. Be like,
Shit.
hey, you up
Yo,
right quick?
yo, let's do it up.
Yep.
I'll put
Y'all
it
are
out there.
insane.
Anybody watching the show, I'm not going to just bring randoms on because I want to give our guest the respect and attention it deserves. But I know I got a fan base, and I reached out to a couple, and actually one. I might even have this one come on because we got a nice fucking conversation that we're going to have. If anybody wants to come on, if you got a little history with me and you want to have a little conversation, we got two people here that are more than happy to stand by and mediate if need be. But you want some answers? I want some answers. Let's get to the bottom of it. It's my Crazy Access podcast. Moving on. Erica Mayo, The Bachelor. Well, Erica, how are you? Ironically, she popped in. Not that she's an actor. We have a little history. Actually, recently saw her. Erica, by all means, you want to pop in? We can have a conversation. But thanks for checking in as well.
Erica, that's a lovely selfie.
It's a great selfie. She's a selfie. Let's kick it off, Victor. Let's kick it off.
All right.
Your first one, and you include whatever you want to include. Let's hear the story.
Sure.
Crazy
Whoa.
Ex.
The Crazy Exes. It all started when I was 22 years old. And, 22, young man, got a new job, going out now, I'm hitting the bars. You know what I mean?
Today was a good day.
Exactly. Well, was is a pretty big, yeah. So, this woman she's a dime. You know what I mean? She was the one everybody wanted to talk to. I got her attention by pretty much, I guess, here comes the ADHD, by not exactly looking like I'm paying attention. And so it looks like I don't care when I talk to people sometimes. I don't
Really?
mean to, but I guess to some people that's an attractive trait. I honestly just wasn't paying attention because you were boring for a second, and then my bad. You know what I mean? Like, sorry you didn't engage me at the moment because, I just zoned out. So we hit it off. Very shortly after into this relationship, she asked me to move in.
How long after?
A couple months, dude.
Been there?
Yeah.
Been
At
there?
22, the first woman to ask me out, you know what I mean? I'm a late bloomer, if anything. Because,
I live
look at me now, just
I live with an
gorgeous.
ex-girlfriend at absolutely, like, look in the mirror. I live with a girlfriend at 22. I should have her on because she's a bunch of fun. She's actually pretty awesome. She's watched the show a couple times. I lived with a girlfriend at 22, when I was 21 as well. Yeah, I kind of always feel like I lived with a woman. That goes back to my insecurities, my anxiety. So yeah,
Ooh, yeah.
we'll talk about it.
Yeah. And,
So he's moving.
it's, as any relationship does, there's the honeymoon phase. Everything's going great. 17 minutes later, she's already mad about something.
What did you do?
What did you do?
I don't remember. I don't know.
17
Now,
minutes later, he's living there, and she's
yeah. So I don't find this out till later on down in my life. Like I think almost just like 5 years after into the relationship, she was already cheating on me. She was sending titty pics to her boss at the time.
to her boss.
Yeah, to her boss. She was a paralegal. I'm not gonna go any further in there, but
legal field.
Yeah, they're great place to find women. Anyways, she anytime she would do something like that, reach out to another guy, talk to another guy, go out with another guy, she would come back and just get enraged with me. She was an alcoholic. You can call it textbook narcissist. You know what I mean?
Respect.
We had the beating, hitting me in the face while I was asleep, accusing me of talking to some girl. I'm like, I got home like 5 hours ago. I didn't even go out with you guys. Like, what are you talking about? This is the type of stuff I was dealing with for 7 years.
Wow, 7 years of that. God, that's man, that's tough, and that's really tough, and that shit does take a toll, man. Like 17 minutes in, and you forgot to feed fucking Wolfie, and it's the end of the world. I love when they like say like you're cheating on me, as you literally just left the bathroom with your nipple out. You're actually your areola's still out for the picture. Just saying, I'm the fucking guy.
Yeah, no, and it was one of those when she drinks, I was already getting nervous type of situation. You know what I mean? Who's she gonna think I'm talking to now? There was even one time we, because I took a job fixing airplanes and we moved out to Amarillo, Texas for a while. Yeah, and we went to some house party for people. We didn't even know these people. She just wanted to get out of the house because in Amarillo, there wasn't much to do for people like us from the city, right?
Amarillo.
That's right. Shout out. There was this one time she started accusing me of talking to some girl, and I'm looking around and I'm hanging out with my boys at the moment, right? And I just stand up and I go, ladies, really loud. Have I talked to any of y'all? They all said no, pretty much in sync, man. It was like a symphony. It was the most beautiful moment a man could ever have. Do you know how satisfying that moment was for me? And then she just ran off and took my car, and then we all were stranded.
Yeah, so I'm like that didn't go well, I'm sure.
Oh, of course not, but man, it felt good.
I love those stories where you're like, it's like almost like they sit them down and shut them up. Like it's like I know I'm gonna be right. I know this is gonna go horribly wrong for me because I'm right. But damn, I'm writing this one down.
Yeah.
Moral victories, guys. Moral victories.
I guess I'm a different breed because like I'm like I don't even try to put in that much effort to like be right, to be like, see, bitch, I was right. I'm like, you're gonna get there. You're gonna get to where I was at, and then you're gonna be like, yeah, sunshine, you were right. And I'm gonna sit there looking like, Mhm.
I know. I mean, but take it for this. I mean, and we'll throw in, also another important part of this. Like 7 years of what he went through, like it almost wasn't like a fear of like what he was going to be like blamed for. It was a fear of how this girl was probably going to react and how
Oh
what she
yeah.
could possibly have done. Like we don't know, obviously we have a camera view here, but we don't know how tall or how big he is. I don't know how tall or big or she is. He could be like thick girls, like I do. This it could be fucking Paul Bunyan fucking walking around with a fucking accent and a fucking mustache. Not saying
Damn.
she did, but we've all had things, and some girls have beards.
Well, if
But
anyone on my side is watching this right now and knows who my girlfriend is, they know what I'm a fan of.
I don't have to say.
Hilarious.
I won't wait.
Oh,
She's beardless, I'm sure.
you never know. Big titty goth girls. Anyways, I love the win.
He's got it.
But so this is where ADHD being undiagnosed came into play. So there's another symptom that I discovered called, I had to write it down because I have ADHD. It's called rejective sensitive dysphoria. Yeah.
I love you too. You're just great. Tell me about it.
Yeah.
Just learning here.
Yeah. No, it's kind of like when a dog has separation anxiety in a sense. It's because you don't know where to get dopamine from. You don't even know that's the thing that's bothering you, but you know that the only thing that can get you a little bit of something that gets you going could be the intensity of the relationship. It could be just that, like, maybe it's going to be a good day. I mean, she might touch it today, or maybe just have a conversation. You never know what'll happen. And like, it became that for so long that I didn't realize that it was just a symptom of why I let that happen. It could be symptoms that why I even ran her in that direction. If we want to dig deeper, it's all possible. I'm not throwing anything in, you know what I mean? But this is my experience. And this is what I've discovered over the time, that this wouldn't have happened if I was on meds, or at least been just keeping it in check. You know what I mean? Like, no, like GTFO.
My RSD it manifests differently with me because I normally, like, as far as the people that I'm like close to and care about and everything like that, my RSD doesn't really show up. It's the rejection from other people on the outside, which I'm working to get past. I mean, hell, I kind of gotta get past it to like do what the hell I'm trying to do with my life. But it's like it's that perceived rejection. It might not even be actually apparent that you're gonna be rejected by this person, whatever like that. But the perception of it is the part that will basically kind of cripple you.
Yeah.
Like and it's the craziest thing. I explain it like this. Like I have reverse stage fright. If you have me in a room and there's thousands of people in there, you tell me, bitch, get on stage and just smile and talk and entertain people, I got you. Put me in a room with like 3 to 4 people and tell me to entertain them, and I'm just like, nah, no, because the numbers are not in my favor. Because at least thousands of people, there's at least a good handful or 20 of them that's gonna love the fuck out of me. 3 people, there's a strong possibility that none of the motherfuckers are gonna like anything I have to say, and they're just
Well
gonna be
said.
like, fuck
That's very
this
true.
hoe.
Very,
So
very,
yeah.
very true. That's a good point there, Sunshine. Because that's very, very true. And I went with you 100%. I agree.
And that's part of the RSD. It's RSD too, where you could be 100% wrong about how you feel. It's this thing that comes into your head of like, oh, they don't like they don't like what I said.
Mhm.
I made them feel uncomfortable. I'm interrupting too much. Am I annoying? Like, you already think these things, even at undiagnosed, because you're aware of your outburst. I have inattentive type ADHD, which is the not the hyper type. All that energy is staying in my head. So like,
Mhm.
I'm basically manifesting these things in my head that don't even really exist. So I was putting myself through even more so with the next one. After finding out that the first ex cheated on me the several times, and this is how it went down. Like, somebody told me that she was cheating on me. I go and ask another dear friend of ours, and she goes, "Yeah, it was this European guy." I'm like, "That's not even the story I got." I was like,
It
okay.
changes, right?
Yeah. So like every time like I go to someone else, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna stop asking people at this point.
Yeah. So
Like
they said I
she's
have no dick too. I went, how's this happening?
no, she's just had more dick than somebody has on their own self.
Oh my.
She's had about a mile, is pretty much what I used to say. Yeah. That's a lot. It's a lot. Average is 6 inches. It goes about 10,000 dicks. Just you can Google it later.
I had this girl one time tell me that I think she was drunk, and she's never even seen my dick before. She said I had a year and a half of a dick.
A year and a half of a dick?
Yeah.
That's not even like a proper unit of measurement.
Actually, I think I can measure that one for you, okay? Because my thought process is this: is like that person feels like your dick game is only going to be good enough to keep your ass around for about a year and a half. You know what I'm saying? After that, I'm bored. You got to go. So there is that.
Huh.
At least that's the way I would measure it.
Well, you never know. She could be watching the show, and she would love to. I would love for her to explain it. We'll have to see, because I was curious about that. Like, people say, "Oh, you got a 7 inch, 6 inch." I had a year and a half. That's not even a size. I don't know. I don't know what that means.
That's how much time you're worth.
Yeah, I guess so. Like, hey man, like, your dick is like, I just didn't get it. I mean, it really
that just means you're not making enough money.
Like, I'm seeing a Buddhist about it, actually. But yeah, moving on. That's your story. That's your story, man. That's deep. So it ended, and I'm,
and one of the friends that
hopefully it fucking ended.
It did. One of the friends that ended up telling me about it, we hit it off. And she was the one that, like, hey, like, she's been doing this and that. She kind of told me like the most recent one, basically, and that's the one that everything matched up. And I was like, oh crap. And
any conversation?
Yeah, absolutely. It was, it was kind of like a tap and go. You know what I mean? I think I reached out to the guy's wife, and I was like, hey, I just heard this. I don't know what you know. She didn't say anything to me. Like, I was the bad guy for reaching out, going, hey, our significant others are screwing each other.
Well, then maybe you could do the old, hey, how's your father doing?
Yeah, like I'm not trying to start a Facebook group here. Like, I just wanted to talk to someone.
I'm still trying to figure out why they're saying I have no dick.
Well, because no one's seen it.
It didn't happen.
Yeah. They so moving forward, we hit it off, me and this girl. She was working at the Gold's Gym that I was working out at, and we started talking here and there. And we started hanging out, and we hit it off. And then 6 months in, she needed a roommate. I moved in.
Oh man.
Yeah. It wasn't even like a couple weeks in, like everything just flipped again. I was like, what's going on? Like, she has mental health issues as well, but she was also addicted to the pills.
The pill will do it.
The pills will do it. And you know what I mean? And I'm on the toughest one to, like, not, to fight. At least one of.
Yeah.
So, there was a lot of backlash. Same thing. She was always the look, I'm the one that told you what was going on. I'm not going to be a cheater. And so you already know where this is going, right?
Of course you're not. I trust you.
Yeah, absolutely. You're the one that, like, words mean things when people say them.
Unless they say you have no dick, then,
Yeah. Or, if they're trying to, like, promise the whole country something. So she ended up using my laptop one day, and she was communicating with another guy with email.
On your laptop.
Yeah.
On your laptop.
I already see Sunshine's, like, head just kind of like this.
So she's using your laptop.
No, she just used it once to look at her email, but she was communicating on her phone. I'm on my laptop. I took it to work one time, and I'm just seeing these messages and videos, by the way. Some of them were pretty good.
Are they available?
Yo, seriously, on behalf of the female coalition of bad bitches, we do not claim her at all.
All in favor of not claiming her?
Aye.
Here, aye.
Definitely. Definitely.
Hey, can I
And
use your laptop to send my sex video?
and some of the things that we were going on as far as ADHD goes, um, I was one of the other symptoms is like masking, where you're kind
Yeah,
of or even kind of like this copycat syndrome. You know what I mean? Because
I
she
do.
was always down and angry, I ended up getting the same way.
It's energy, dude. You eventually take
Yeah,
it on, man. I mean, take it from
absolutely.
all of us. Like, and a lot of people that I know, like, it's a mood, dude. I know people like that have that dark energy, and it will take you on and for a ride. I know exactly what that's like, and that's just like, what the fuck is happening? Like, why is this happening, man?
Dude,
That happens with me as an empath. Like, I am a heavy, heavy empath. And my biggest thing is like, I'm realizing now the guys that I do date that stay, for, a long period of time is because of the fact that I cannot read, not that I can't read their emotions, but I don't catch on to them as quickly as like another one. But yeah, like and I've been on the other end with the crazy ex part where I can change the whole fucking vibe of a
Another person.
house.
It's a fucking another
And
person.
till motherfucker don't even want to come home. I ain't said anything to you. I haven't even said good morning, good afternoon, good night, or anything like that. But
That's
that sunshine is not fucking happy, and I don't want to come home to that.
the sun might not be out on that one. And for our new viewers, they're really jumping up now. The viewers here, the season finale, My Crazy Exes podcast. We had a great surprise. Sunshine made a return back. I'm so happy about that. We had a
woo.
great host. Great host. We're the host. Victor Mendoza out in Texas, comedian, Texas man, mental health advocate, and he's got some crazy fucking stories. He to catch everybody up. He dealt with back to back crazies. Like he didn't get a fucking breather. He like it was like, oh man, I got rid of that one. Man, this girl was great. And then the next thing you know, he pulls out reaches in his pocket and he pulls out another crazy. So continue on, and then he was
But I'm starting
no.
to think now because I'm seeing a pattern here. Could it possibly be that your dick is installing crazy into these bitches?
I was
Just wondering.
eventually going to make that topic because that shit can be scary.
Mhm.
And there's something to think about. I
I
mean,
didn't.
listen, we have.
I can't go anywhere without talking about my dick. I swear. Um.
It's better than yours.
Welcome to the Crazy Exes podcast.
Oh
Literally, because they're
no. I by no means ever claim that it's huge.
Oh,
I
you don't
claim
have
that it
to.
has a very I claim that it has a very interesting shape.
It's a year and a
Listen,
half. It's a year and a half long.
I said the game. I didn't say the
Oh
the
yeah.
the
yeah.
actual entity
Listen,
itself. It's
it's
the
not.
game
It's
that will
not. That's not.
install crazy into
Oh
some
yeah.
bitches if
It,
they are not strong
Yeah.
enough to repel those things.
You know,
I couldn't
eat a lot
agree
of
more.
apples. I'm not really sure what to say there.
Yeah, I mean, so let's transition. Let's transition into because we all want to tell a little story. This show flew by. It's already 50 minutes. Holy shit! Talk about ADD. Oh my god,
Telling
it's
you.
like
I'm telling you.
unite.
Yeah, my
Tell us
fuck
how-
ass over here shopping on Amazon while we're talking.
well, of course you are. Tell us how this one ended, brother. You know, obviously this one ended. Hopefully, if it ended, because if it didn't, I'm coming to Texas. I'm bringing it back to Philadelphia. It's a little
Yeah,
fun.
let's do it.
Tell us about this one. How this
Uh,
one ended? Please tell me this one ended.
So this one did end too. Don't get me wrong. We're already going. It's been almost a decade since I've seen these people. Um,
Yeah, I think they're out here in Philly now.
they're not here. I know that much. There was a point already where finding out she's cheating on me. I'm trying to get a gun and a knife out of her hand. She takes off and almost hits a guy with her Jeep. I remember this because like our neighbor came out and like, was that her? She just almost killed a man. I was like, 2, but that's fine. And
Wow.
give 25% of your dick, by the way, with this
Yeah,
promo code.
We'll pull that back up. Men are not supposed to give a new girl
Yeah.
100%. They give 25%. Oh, I mean, let's do a sponsor it. All right, guys, Unity Podcast Network.
Yeah,
We're only
yeah.
giving 25% dick right now. Come back in 2 weeks, maybe a year and a half, depending on size, and you'll get 100%.
Yeah, you give
Yeah.
100%, and then that's when you get the crazies. I even
Yeah.
know better
Well
than to do that.
said. Well said.
I can't give 100% of my pussy when I'm when I'm hooking up with some dude and everything like that. I will have stalkers on my hand. So, I give them a little bit, you know what I'm saying, maybe 10, 15%.
Little, hey, how's your father? Shout out to Liz Karen. Thanks for checking in. She's a nice new fan of the show.
Even with that, a few
Hello.
weeks later, they start saying they love me. But, whatever.
Yeah, the I love you. Sometimes it happens. I had somebody. I was plowing this one chick, and she actually thanked me. She said, thank you. I was like, me?
Did you knock something loose, right?
Yeah,
Stuff in the
she
chimney,
thanked
right?
me, and I was like, you're welcome. I mean,
Yeah.
I thought I was at a fucking Wendy's for a minute or something.
Well,
Jeez.
Yeah.
when she can't find something and you help her look for it.
She said,
First of all, the answer should have been my pleasure. Okay? Why
Yeah,
you
but
giving her a McDonald's answer when it's clearly some Chick-fil-A dick you
I
laying down on her?
could have
Because
been
it
like,
was-
I know. Something crazy like that. But yeah, I got to thank you. That was probably like one of the funniest things I ever heard.
Or your pleasure would have been good too.
Mm.
We'll open this up with funny things to say after sex. There we go. Season 2, episode 1, and we're gonna bring our man Victor back on. I love it. So this one's wild story, man. Wild
Yeah.
story.
Yeah.
Sunshine, do you want to share one, or do you want to just listen to mediate? Oh wait, get Victor.
No, go ahead.
Do you want to share one, or want to share one?
I mean, I do have just a quick short one.
Well,
me
short
being
short
the
ones are always good because our time was for Victor. We'll just throw in a couple short ones there.
So this was like kind of like my first actual relationship out of high school and everything like that. I knew the guy in high school and everything. Like I actually knew him since elementary school. And I couldn't stand his ass in elementary school. I guess that should have told me something. But
That's excellent.
yeah, like I literally tried to get him expelled from school. I was a hateful ass bitch. I drew some pictures. I put his name on it, and motherfuckers actually believed that it was his and was about to suspend him. I was just like, great. But later on, after graduation, everything like that, we were chatting, and we decided we do a little relationship thing. And who does this? Seriously, any man who does this shit, like y'all are so lucky. So lucky. But anyway, I go over to his house to surprise him and be like, hey, how you doing? Miss you. Haven't seen you in a hot second. I go up to the door and I hear some happening. I'm like, there's no way I could possibly be getting fucked on the other side of this door. So it must be somebody else.
That
And it wasn't
me.
coming from the kitchen, right?
Oh, they were in the living room, right? like I think here's the door, here's the couch, and somewhere in that area they were, because I was hearing it as I was walking up to the stairs to the house.
They were underneath the couch on the big comfy couch with the little dust bunnies guys that are under the couch on the big comfy couch, or they're just hiding out, fucking. Sometimes that's not me getting fucked. I mean, I'm looking around. That's not me.
But I was like, that wasn't me.
I feel nothing like usual, but still.
Right. I knock on the door and everything because I was just like, nah, this kid, he's watching something or something. And he's like, he answers. He answers. I was like, I think he said what or something like that. I was like, hey, it's Sunshine. You busy? He's like, yeah. I was like, okay. I politely turned around. I got in my car. I went to a gas station and I was about to buy a gallon of gasoline and I was going to set that fucking house right on fire with both of them in it.
Wow. Okay. So clearly this is sometimes the crazy guys. And we got a quick comment. I've heard that noise on the other side of the bathroom. Oh,
you need to go check for rats, by the way, if that's what you're hearing.
I was probably jerking off, to be honest with you. Wow.
So you got gasoline. So obviously this was, not recent.
Oh no, yeah. My best friend talked me out of it. She did. Dana, thank you, girl. I love you.
Shout out to Dana.
You kept me out of jail, bitch, and that's why you're bestie. Okay.
You're a real one.
But afterwards, like a few years later and everything, after we kind of like, talked again, that's why I'm like, I might have to find him and bring him on the show. And I told him straight up, I was like, I don't think you understand. And I said in the most serious, calm tone, I don't think you really understand how you almost lost your life that day, because I know what kind of house you stayed in. It was a house that your grandfather built, so it's like a tender, it's waiting to get like lit up. So all I needed was just a little accelerant in the front and a little accelerant in the back. Your ass was not going to be able to make it out the house before it caught on fire and burnt both of y'all asses. Do you realize how close you were to losing your life? And he kind of looked at me. He was like, and we're friends to this day now.
He
We're
has no
good.
choice but to be your fucking friend at this point. I mean, shit, if you can't
Yeah,
beat him,
you're
join them.
terrifying.
Yeah, that's a. It's nice to hear the other side of things. That's pretty crazy. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
I don't think I've ever done anything like that. I like it. I'm gonna now. Let's dive into mine. A crazy ex, or maybe was I the crazy? I was never like essentially the crazy. Like I never went like nuts. Um, a crazy ex. I did have. Let me think of one. Oh man, I'm trying to think of like a decent crazy ex. I don't think I've really ever had like a crazy one. To be honest with you.
Okay, let's go with the craziest place you met one and go from there.
The craziest place I met one. Oh,
Yeah,
let me give a good
a
one.
bar, you were sloshed, and then you actually hung out for longer than 2 weeks.
All right, so here we go. I got one. All right, I got a crazy ex. Then just she was probably the craziest. She might have been the craziest. This was like a couple of years ago. I was 21. It was my first Asian. My first Asian. She would. You know how it is sometimes. You meet someone you already know. All right, this is smashy, and then it somehow turns into something more.
They love you long time.
It just never left.
Hey,
And
can we say that?
yeah, we absolutely can. We do not own the rights to that music, by the way. So we ended up like dating a little bit. I don't even know if it was dating. I don't think I was ever allowed to leave her apartment. I was actually pretty scared. But the cool thing was when
You
we
were
did,
kidnapped.
I'm gonna get into that. Like her parents owned a great Chinese spot in like Glenside. Great food, loved it. Like it was pretty damn good. That's why I stuck around. And she was just psychotic. Like I remember, like she would be at work. She would make me like tell me, "You better get up." Like I had to take the bus up to her job and hang out with her on her break for a half hour, and then go all the way to fuck back during football Sunday. Because if I didn't, I don't even. I'm actually getting PTSD right now. Like if I didn't, oh dude, it was not good. She would come in fucking nuts, and this like happened all the time. Like, oh, I'm on my lunch break. You coming up? Like I'm just like no. And then the fucking flames would fly up, dude. Like cats didn't even like her. So her place was always a fucking mess. So there's that. I cleaned her entire place for her one time. I just was tired of looking at it. It was a fucking shithole. So I cleaned her place for her. She comes in. This isn't how I clean, and fucking throw everything, all the papers, broken shit all over, and I'm just like, why did you do that? Why did you do that? I was like, dude, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind. I was like, this is fucking nuts. I was like, you can't be doing this. So eventually, and I was able to get out of it, and then that's not even the worst part. I was started talking to somebody. They had the same fucking name and lived in the same apartment building. Props out. Same fucking apartment building, same name. And I was teaching at the time actually. So I was over there talking to the not the new one, but someone who was like standing by me. And the girl I was with, the crazy one, like told me, come in, we're gonna talk. She locked the door, and what she said was, I wasted her time, so I have to pay it back. I'm like, no. She made me, and I'm saying made me sleep in bed and hold her while like I was like we were done, and like you hold me, and I'm just like, holy shit, this is fucking nuts. Like I had to like give her time back, and then I was like, after that, I fucking was done and rock and rolled, and I was like, I didn't stay. I think she ended up falling asleep from stuffing her face for fucking with Chinese food, but I was like, I'm fucking out. Actually, I think I did the Santa Claus thing and fucking shot up the fucking the old bad boy, but like you have to hold me too. Like I'm like, what? What are you talking? What? We're done.
Did she say thank you?
I hope so. I hope I at least got a Christmas card out of it. No,
That ungrateful bitch.
Moral story: every single person she dated after that, because I ended up dating the girl for a little bit after her that was right above, so we could hear and see like everything. The guy she was with after that, I'm pretty sure he probably cracked her across the face. And I sat there and I was like, men should not hit girls, but she had that coming for a long time. She would just fucking poke. And no man should ever hit a woman. I don't condone it. I'm not okay with it. I would never personally do it. But I'll also say this. Sometimes you have to take yourself out of the situation so it doesn't escalate. And on the women's side, you can only poke the bear so many times. And I'm telling you, real shit. I mean, obviously, none of us would ever condone women getting hit by guys. But they're out there that do it. And when you poke the bear, and you keep poking the fucking bear, it's like it's Paul's time. That's the end of my story.
Have you ever seen how women talk to each other though? Right, Sunshine? Like it is the most evil sounding thing. Like you know, like how like bros will be like, oh, you're fat. They do it way worse.
Oh no, yeah, we go for the jugular. We're trying to like actually like verbally murder you. Like
Facebook user. Let me see how much time we have left, and we'll try and we'll try and get you on. Yeah, keep going, guys.
Yeah, but yeah, go ahead.
No. Basically, just men don't have the same threshold. You know what I mean? We don't have like if a woman said like you look like you're kind of gaining a few pounds, maybe stop wearing that purple shirt. I can't go to Frankie and be like, do you know what this bitch said? I can't.
I would be like, yeah, let's
go that way.
Talk about it.
Yeah, like it just doesn't work that way.
I mean, you never know. Like I would be like, I have like 7 sisters. I'm the only boy. So like I kind of get like I'm like a chick realistically. I mean, it's Sunshine. Like I would be like, yo, bro, I gotta tell you something. I'm walking. This fucking girl over here. She's fucking talking shit. I've seen it all the time. Like those girls, they're more ballsier than dudes. They'll try and fight a dude. I'm like, I remember one time I was I was at the gay club one time, and I'm there hanging out with my crew, and popping bottles, doing the thing, and the girls swore. Sunshine is like, what the fuck? No, I love dancing. No, I'm just joking. So the one girl thought I was trying to talk to her girlfriend. I was like, no, listen, you guys are together. I think my jacket touched her. I think that my jacket may have touched her. I'm sorry. You want my girl, you motherfucker. But boom, I was like, did you just hit? Why did you hit me? Like now I'm getting like, what did I do? My jacket touched her. I don't know what you want me to do. You want my girl? I'm like, I'm sorry that I wanted your girl. I'll leave. I wanted her so bad. My jacket really liked her, touched her. I'm gonna see myself out.
Yeah.
I had to visual myself out of there. Like, what the fuck? Dudes will just be like, dudes get tough when their girl gets mad. Like, because they ain't got no choice, because they ain't going to bitch out.
Yeah, they don't want to look weaker when 100% of the time that's what's going on.
I love Woody's. Still my favorite gay club. Shout out to Woody's. They're not a sponsor, but that's where it was.
She was there.
She was there. Yeah, she was the girl that actually punched me in the face. I'm joking.
So going back on your story, you went up into this chimney and then you like met the girl right there, and then just that's how fast you're moving, bro. Or
yeah, no, seriously. Like I met her that night, and we banged, and I feel like I never left. I'm serious. Like I feel like I never left, and like. Yeah, I did leave. By the way, we are not together.
Congrats.
Disclaimer: we're no longer together. We're in contact whatsoever. It's been a long time. Yeah, I mean, I just place to crash, hang out. I was young. Shit, I think I was 20. I was 20. I'm 33. So I was like, oh my god.
It's hard to say no when you're that age. Like you only think with all the blood in your penis. Like that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, apparently everybody was saying I had their dick. Angelina Tessie, shout out when my love, dear Sunshine, had taken a break for a little bit. Angelina had actually stepped in on that first episode. Want a little shout out for her. She's actually part of this whole thing as well because she did her little face of fame. The cool thing is it was her first podcast, and she did pretty damn good. We talked about long distance relationships. It was pretty cool.
Oh.
I dated a meth head who graduated to heroin. Can only imagine what that's about.
Wow.
Listen, people have to, they not everybody, but they go to the next level sometimes. I never took that next step. I had a lot of things to do. I just didn't have the time.
How
You know,
long did it take for him to start stealing money from your fucking purse? So that's my question.
but not everybody steals the money from the purse. Okay, sometimes there's responsible meth addicts out there that have good jobs. Yeah, come on.
He graduated to heroin.
Well, he graduated. He got a good education.
I feel like graduated is kind of a step down though, because meth with I mean, even just doing a little bit of meth, you can clean your apartment. You know what I mean? With like heroin, you're just you're gonna start blowing people that like haven't showered in 4 weeks. You know what I
Well,
mean? Like
God.
very true. And the incredible balance, though. Like, if you ever want to get into, no disrespect, I mean, shit, addiction's been in my family fucking for how long? I think the first heroin addict was in my family. Hopefully not. So, the lean, like, if you ever want to join a limbo thing or something like that, I'll tell you, do a little bad boy and be ready to rock and roll. With that being said,
fair.
little comment from Angelina again. I confronted him about the heroin the next morning, and he said, "You're having wild dreams." Wow, I can only imagine. So Angelina was having wild dreams because he was doing
Doing
heroin.
heroin.
Interesting. Wow.
Mm.
Another comment here: messing around, aka messing. I'm messing around.
I'm just messing around a little bit
Messing
with this
around.
guy.
Come
We're
on,
just
that's methed up. That's methed up. Don't be.
There it is. A zinger. Man, that's good stuff. So I love it. So Victor, my man, tell us what you got going on. You know, couldn't be more happy that you're on here.
Absolutely.
Where can we find you in Texas? I obviously have a little flyer I'm going to put up while you're talking.
Yeah.
People to see you, but they're going to hear you. I'm going to put your stuff up for anybody that's out in the Texas area. Go see our man. It's all right there. That
Woo.
Where can we
Look at him
find you?
go.
What do you have going on?
The man is working hard. Y'all
First of
see
all-
these dates?
Yeah.
We got more added on
You
since
might be on
that was made
Jesus Christ.
too.
Oh, shit.
We got way more added on since that. Let's see. All of that is in San Antonio for now. So we're already going on. We got Fuel Bar coming up. Rebecca Creek Distillery. I have so many dates there because I put on a monthly show there.
Okay.
Sometimes I put those dates there because I may not be performing, but I'm there as the producer and the manager of the show. We have Kua Genti. Yeah, we have Kua Genti. Shout out to him. He is one of the biggest names from Houston. So we're giving him some time to go, you know. And I don't know if you guys have Rebecca Creek whiskey or bourbon over there.
I would love to. No, we don't. Not here in
Great
Philadelphia.
stuff. Yeah, it's great stuff. I'm 8 months sober now, but man, I got in so much trouble while being on it. Just so you know.
Bro, congratulations, dude. I'm gonna pull this
Thank
out so I can show you the respect that you
definitely.
deserve. That's
Yeah.
incredible. Yeah, dude. I mean, straight up, like that's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, congratulations.
And then Upstage Comedy Lounge. I wanted to give them a big shout out because they're pretty big. Bobby Smith, first black-owned comedy club or black-owned company, you know, in Texas.
It's incredible.
You know what I mean? Yes, and it's such a beautiful place to go do comedy. It's a beautiful place to just go hang out. They do business expos there, parties, karaoke sometimes.
Love the karaoke.
It's a great place. I just, you know, that's actually it's his shirt I'm wearing right now. You know, I
Send me
love
one of those,
representing
brother.
the
I'll wear it on
club.
the show. I love a good outfit, man.
Absolutely.
New shirt.
I'll make it happen.
Well, that's
So I do that, and then you know, find me at Vic Mendoza right here, as I put for my display name. That's on TikTok, Instagram. That's going to be the YouTube soon. I just kind of started the YouTube because I'm going to be sharing a lot more of this ADHD advocacy and making a funny YouTube channel going on. I will have a community. It's kind of already slowly building up, but they're kind of waiting on me. But executive dysfunction does kick in quite a bit. So
couldn't have said any
People are
better.
waiting on my YouTube and my website and all that shit, and I'm like,
I'm just waiting to find out who
working
said
on
I
it.
had no dick. I'm still trying to work for that now.
you might have left it at one of those chimneys, man. I'm telling you. See, it's not that you don't have one; you just misplaced it.
I mean, it's just a year long, so
Year and a half, though. Don't
year and a half. My
take
bad.
away my halfie. You're all over the place, man. And you know, once you get everything going, rock and roll YouTube channel, don't forget about us. We are always happy to collab. You know, I got some good comedians I can set you up with too out here in Philadelphia.
Absolutely. Either way, I had fun doing this, so I'd be happy to come back.
Dude, it was incredible. Yeah, we're definitely gonna have you back on. Season one's over.
Congratulations, by the way.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, let's go around and just do a final thought. Sunshine, hit me with your final thought.
Why me first?
Okay, fine. Victor, hit me with your final thought.
It's not actually depression. Get off your ass.
Well said. My final thought is, and I always usually end it with this: why is Chick-fil-A closed on Sundays? Sunshine, hit me with it.
You know, I'm learning guitar because I was depressed, and so I bought a guitar this weekend. So yeah.
I'm all about it,
Hyperfixation?
100%. Guys, I love it. Frankie James, Sunshine, Victor Mendoza. Make sure you follow him. This is the end of season 1, the My Crazy Exes podcast. Stay tuned. We will be back in 2 weeks. More interviews, more exciting things. And yes, Sunshine will be back. Guys, thank you so much all the way around. You make sure you give us a follow. And we love you all. And that's it.